Hello. What's up, everybody? Lindsay, did you post your food in the Facebook group?
I did at the beginning of the week. Um,
Excellent.
yeah,
Okay. So then I should be able to find it
yeah.
here in just a couple moments. So we can start off with any specific or immediate questions that you have. You have any?
Me or anybody?
Both you or anybody. And more people said they were trying to jump on, but we're going to go ahead and jump into it since we're recording. So any specific questions at all that you want me to answer or any topic you want me to go over? All
I
right.
did want to ask, I had just a question about I had seen this recipe or like not really a recipe, but something on Instagram or something like that that talked about like protein cereal with like the Fairlife milk was a good like way to get some protein in. Not saying I would eat that all the time, but I just didn't know what your opinion of that kind of was. I can upload a picture of the particular cereal just because I was going to try it. But
Um, the my opinion is the highest protein cereal is still going to be significantly less protein than every other protein option, and come with a lot more carbs and calories than the protein sources that you want with the beans and the vegetables that we want to include with it. And even though eggs might not be high in protein relative to the calories because the fat of the yolk, there's a ton of nutritional value in the eggs versus what there would be in the cereal. So the cereal's not really a smart, effective choice unless you just desperately need cereals, but it's not like it's going to be an easy option for like a higher protein, a better protein than many, or all of the other things we do. Does that make sense?
oh yeah, I'm not a big cereal eater. I just happened to see that and was like, oh, that would be something like more as some because I pretty much eat the same breakfast, the same lunches, all of that. But I just was something like kind of like more like, oh, this is something different to try. But because I was
Are you
searching for protein, like high protein foods, and that popped up. So
are you talking about Magic Spoon, the brand?
no, this was Kashi.
Kosh. That's
Yeah, it was Kashi, like, and then they paired it with the because I rarely eat cereal, but I just happened to find that one time when I was looking for the high protein stuff.
yeah, Kashi falls into that same category where like it's a high protein cereal, but it's relative to other cereals. So objectively, it's not a high protein food. And um, actually, we'll make this the lesson of the day, the principle of the day. When we're looking at foods and protein sources, one of the best ways to look at it is grams of protein per calories of the food. So if I drink a 30-gram protein shake that has 300 calories, that's 1 gram of protein to 10 calories as the ratio. If I have protein shake that's 30 grams, 150 calories, it's 2 grams of protein per 10 calories as ratio. I'm almost 100% certain the high protein cereals will have less than 13 grams of protein and likely minimum triple that in carbs. So like 13 grams of protein to 36 carbs and a very high level of calories versus something like an egg that might be 7 grams of protein to 70 calories and a meat that goes with it and then all of the vegetables. So looking at protein ratios to calories is a much better strategy to getting protein up or choosing a high protein food than net protein or comparable protein. Because if I'm getting a protein source that's 50 grams of protein and 50 grams of fat, while technically 50 grams of protein is a lot, the 50 grams of fat makes the caloric value of that so excessive, it's going to backfire on us. So it's not just net protein value, but relative protein value. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Excellent. So that was great. Right now, for Brittany and Janine, we're just answering if there's any questions you guys want to ask up front before I start going through the meal analysis from what's posted in the Facebook group. Or any question or any topic you want me to go over. All right, then. I'm going to share my screen here. Can everybody see? All right. So Stephanie getting steps in dinner at the Frederick Coffee Company. This is what you do when you order out. Lots of greens, lots of protein, dressing on the side. That was definitely the right choice. We've gone over a whole bunch of strategies for eating at restaurants. She did a great job there. Peggy, this is a beautiful breakfast. You have beans included, but it looks like eggs with spinach in it, which is great. Eggs, spinach, and onions are always delicious. A side of bacon. She's down 6 pounds, 2 weeks. She's sticking to what we call phase one, or what we call the shred. And this falls on it perfectly. So that was wonderful. Kim had a patty and French fries. Kim, I believe, is supposed to be doing the shred, and French fries would violate it. There's no greens here, so I'm not sure where this meal fell. It might have been her refeed, it might not. Jody posted steak and shrimp with onions and peppers. If you could have this for every meal, you'd probably be super lean and love your life because it's so delicious. This is the kind of thing that we're looking for. This may have been dinner out leftovers, but maybe not. Maybe they cooked the steak and shrimp at home. This is the kind of meal. Choosing things that are very delicious is worth the investment when you're struggling with a diet like this, and just get the steak and shrimp and rock it. It's great. Kim is using the green bean strategy. Somebody told me today, and I forget who it was, but somebody said that they were, it was Jose. Jose's losing a ton of weight, and he told me he was eating like full cans of green beans with each one of his meals to make sure he was on point. And it's the magical strategy. So green beans. This chicken does look breaded from this picture, which isn't an automatic fail necessarily, but when we're doing the shred, or phase one as we call it, breaded chicken can backfire on us in terms of total calories and grams of protein to total calorie ratio. So little things like that are important to pay attention to. It goes back to, if we're trying to do chicken, vegetables, and beans, but that chicken is chicken nuggets, deep frying and breaded chicken nuggets backfires. Obviously, this isn't fried, but it's still something to consider when we look at the total math of what we're trying to do here. Shannon, this is great. Shannon's just getting started. She's posting her food. She's learning about phase one. She chose tuna and eggs, which is great. Spinach, which is great. She's getting her greens. This is a good start meal, moving in the right direction. I'm very proud of that. Todd, always killing it with the greens. As he said, it's just greens and buffalo chicken, which we should post some buffalo chicken recipes for people to give that a try. Remember to include beans as much as you possibly can. This also looks awesome, a burger salad. And thank you, Todd, for posting a burger salad. If you like burgers, do a burger salad, or wrap it in a lettuce wrap also, which is incredible. And take time to make an incredible burger. Whatever you like when you go out and you order a burger, replicate it at home. You can Google any famous burger, like Red Robin has so many different burgers and bottomless fries. Just Google a healthy version of a Red Robin burger, and you can make it and turn it into a salad and eliminate so many extra calories, but still get all the fun. Throw in extra lettuce, extra tomatoes, extra onions. Then all of a sudden it became like a real salad. And you can probably figure out how to justify beans mixed into it, but you also may not need them at that point. Heather, this is beautiful. Brussels sprouts are delicious. It looks like tomatoes mixed in with the beans. That was a great idea. Lisa, a stereotypical, beautiful meal. Tons of vegetables with chicken grilled right next to it, obviously. A taco bowl, but without the bowl or the crunchy stuff going on. Alyssa, this is perfect. When you're trying to stick to the shred or phase one, I always give the tip that Mexican food is the easiest thing to do to follow that list to keep you restricted on it. Stephanie, again, has been posting incredible meals, and we could start pressuring her to share her recipes for how she's cooking them. But delicious Brussels sprouts are great. They can be very filling. Chicken, obviously, is lean, very filling, good for you. And there you go, Stephanie, again, with some asparagus. Laura, rotisserie chicken, green beans, and she had a small banana and a protein shake. This is a great meal. As a reminder, the green bean strategy is wildly effective, but the green bean strategy is green vegetables, not beans. We still want to include beans separate to that. Heather, again, this is great. Shannon, turkey, chickpeas, and artichokes. And Val asked, what's the nutritional value of an artichoke? Shannon gave a wonderful answer. She said, I don't know, Google it. So artichokes are a vegetable. Artichokes are a high protein vegetable. I believe you're going to get from like a medium sized artichoke 5 or 6 grams of protein, 60, 70, 80 calories, maybe 15 carbs, but half of them will be fiber. So it's a vegetable where it's almost even amount of protein to net carbs when you subtract the fiber out of it, and it's a high fiber vegetable. So if you like artichokes, Shannon says she loves them, include artichokes. If you haven't been eating any artichokes and you're open to the idea, artichokes are delicious. So try some artichokes this week. But I want to stay on this meal a little bit. This is a very small looking portion of protein. If you read phase one and you read phase two, you know a portion of protein should be size of your palm, but also the thickness of your palm. That looks very thin. I don't know because of the angle of the picture. So if I were looking at this meal, I would say, Shannon, we want to increase the protein here because it's not enough. And chickpeas are garbanzo beans. They fall under the category of domino foods. They shouldn't be the main staple of our bean strategy. While technically they will work, they're very, I think they're higher calorie / more dense, and they're very easy to overconsume versus other beans that are not as easy to overconsume in terms of fiber content, protein, and satiation. So garbanzo beans are an acceptable option, but they fall under the category of be careful with them because they may screw you up. So this meal is a very good meal. Just a couple of things to point out that would make this significantly better. Stephanie did a great job here with another, I think it's a turkey burger. Doesn't say here, but it looks like a turkey burger with pickles. Great idea, just no bun. I think more chickpeas and tomatoes. Shannon with another good meal. She forgot beans. Beans would make it better, but more artichokes. All of that is very good. Cute dog. Blueberries, as Laura's doing, she's allowing them. We've gone over it a bunch. Just as a reminder, the strategy is a total net calorie strategy and not a list of rules strategy. So it's totally fine for her to include the blueberries as long as she's still trending in the right direction, because blueberries are incredible. They're incredibly good for you. You should have them all of the time, and it's okay that she does. Most of this stuff, putting a strategy together with your coach is better than blindly following the food list that we gave out. So that's a great decision. Egg bites, berries, chicken, veggies. Alyssa did a great job. Kidney beans, it looks like chicken, maybe fish, salad, pickles. Perfect. This is what we want to see. Shannon, iceberg lettuce, chicken, feta. Looks delicious. Maybe you started eating some before you took the picture. Maybe not, but we definitely want to increase the volume of chicken in this. Protein should be the priority, which we're going to review here in a minute. Bison, as I've suggested a bunch, is delicious. This is a great meal. If you guys have not tried bison burgers, do it. And I'm pretty sure it's cheaper than beef still. And I think it tastes better. Chicken, fish, broccoli, carrots, and beans with tomatoes. Adding tomatoes to your beans is a great idea. Another pro tip, if you're struggling with beans, beyond changing the consistency by turning them into mashed potatoes, a little bit of corn and a little bit of bacon with your beans when you cook it will make a huge difference. I do onions and corn when I cook beans and bacon and chicken stock and garlic, and they end up delicious. But corn can be a flavor enhancer. It can be too calorically dense if you eat a ton of corn, adding it into this. But a little bit of corn can be a very effective flavor enhancer when we're doing things like this. So if you're struggling with beans, try a little bit of corn. Another great breakfast here, Peggy, Maggie. Shannon, hamburger, peppers, pinto beans. That's really good. And there's a lot of protein in it. You can see that it's protein dominated. That was a great choice. Laura, another great meal. Trying to scroll forward to up. Lindsay, here's all your meals, Lindsay. This is what I was looking for. Breakfast, lunch, meal prep, added turkey sausage, breakfast, protein, one chicken, breakfast for lunch. So, Lindsay, this is the sausage.
Yeah,
that we're
that's the
looking at.
turkey sausage that I put with breakfast.
12 grams of protein to 10 grams of fat on sausage is incredible. Typically, sausage is going to have a much higher fat content than protein. And as you know, I always say, front load your day with fat, front load your day with calories. If you have eggs and chicken, sausage, your fat content of that meal is going to be high. Fat does not automatically mean bad. This is a great, delicious way to get some added protein and nutritional value. Here we go. So this was really good. And here we go again. So Lindsay, I'm going to try to find your post again. Here we go. So what is this in these bowls? Can you share?
Yeah, it's I just make two big trays of the roasted vegetables and then I put some in the bottom of the bowl and then I took this picture so you could see the sausage and then I put the eggs on top and I put spinach in with the eggs. So then the next picture should be like, then it's all of it. I just took a picture like mid prep so you could see. And then I do more roasted vegetables with the chicken. There's yeah. And then there's the chicken with more roasted vegetables.
How much chicken is this? Are you measuring how much the chicken weighs?
I wrote down, I think it was 120 ounces for all 4 chicken breasts, I believe.
120 ounces?
I'm not sure it was 120. I don't think I'm trying to remember because it was something from HelloFresh and then my family didn't want to eat it. So I just cooked all 4. It was, but I thought I took a picture or wrote it down how many ounces it was, but I can't remember now. But
Got it. So
yeah, it was like one chicken breast.
For Lindsay and for everybody on this call, if it's 120 ounces between 4 chicken breasts, that would be almost 2 pounds per chicken breast, which is
Maybe it was 20 ounces. I can't remember. I'm
which
so
is
bad.
unlikely. So
No, it was 20 ounces.
A full serving, like a big serving of chicken, is like 6 to 8 ounces. This looks like it might be 3 ounces.
Maybe it was 20. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
So How many grams of protein are in 3 ounces of chicken? Anybody?
Let's I can Google it.
Can you repeat it? My kid was talking to me.
How many grams of protein are in 3 ounces of chicken?
I have no
Like
idea.
20?
Google said 19.
We had one Google guess of 19. Nobody else knows. Yeah, so it's gonna be close to 19. I think we round. Everybody rounds numbers when they do their nutritional facts. So an ounce of chicken is 6 grams of protein, just as our default. So whatever Lindsay looked up was a little more precise. So 3 ounces would be about 18 or 19 grams. If we need to get a minimum of 30 grams per meal, then we've got to push that up. But really, a lot of us have a minimum protein target, or I gave you a minimum protein target somewhere around 150. So if we're doing 3 meals per day, we would need at least 50 grams per meal. If I'm doing chicken, how many grams or how many ounces of chicken would I need to eat to get to 50 grams of protein? How many ounces of chicken do I have to consume to exceed 50 grams of protein? Somebody do the math.
You need like 2.5 servings, like
Is it
8?
9?
Yeah.
Oh, I said 9. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was thinking like 8.5 because that's like 2.5 servings. It's 3 ounces. So something like that. 8 or 9.
17.
What was that, Dan?
17 ounces.
With less than 17 ounces. But so if there's 6 grams of protein per ounce of chicken, and we need to get more than 50, if I did 50 divided by 6, it'd be a little more than 8. So if we did 8.5, 9 grams, or 8.5, 9 ounces of chicken, that would exceed 50 grams of protein. Not that you have to eat 9 ounces of chicken in a meal, that's a lot of chicken. The point is pushing your number from 3 ounces to 6 or 7 ounces is what we need to start building towards on protein portions a lot of times, something lean like chicken. The takeaway is that I need you guys to start, or I want you guys to start thinking your default protein portion. If it's really a leaner protein, you should have been at the principal game that we did, but you all saw the protein chart. If it's a eat more of this, you probably need to do a minimum of 6 ounces. Gentlemen, try to get 8 ounces at every meal. And I'm eyeballing it from here, looking at Lindsay's dish in front of me, it's probably 3 ounces. And Lindsay, just like every other person that I'm checking in with right now, needs to increase their protein portion. So taking that 3 ounces to 6 ounces. And to be honest with you, Lindsay, as a specific case example, if Lindsay took these meals at 3 ounces at lunch and dinner and increased them to 4.5 or 5 ounces, would accomplish her protein target. That little bit of a change, 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces at lunch and 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces at dinner, would go from short of our protein minimum to hitting our protein minimum. That's nothing spread out over 2 meals. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
It does. And I also just remembered, not that it matters because it doesn't really, but it's not chicken, but I do eat the Dan and Light and Fit, which is, I think it's 12 grams of protein.
It is.
So I'm getting a little bit more at lunch. I just took a picture of all the meal prep for the week.
So, since we're using Lindsay still as a specific case, based off of the numbers that you submitted to me, the numbers that we're measuring, adding 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces of protein to lunch and dinner would accomplish our goal. That's assuming that you were doing that Greek yogurt with these meals. If you weren't doing the Greek yogurt with these meals, we would be somewhere around 65 to 85 grams of protein per day from the eyeball test. That's not the yogurt's not pictured here. So
Right.
the added chicken was under the assumption that the yogurt was already included. Does that make sense?
Can I ask a question, Michael?
Please, of course.
Is it beneficial then on the shred to go ahead and measure my proteins for all my meals still?
Of course, it's beneficial. It's not required for people, especially as long as they're continuing to make progress. And I am here to monitor the things with you. But if progress slows or stalls, one of the first things we're going to do is measure your protein content. So if you want to accelerate the process, or if you want to jump ahead and start measuring your protein, you can. Would it be beneficial? Absolutely. Is it necessary while you're still making progress? No. But if that progress is slowed or stalled, that will be the next step. So yes, it is something to think about. It would be beneficial. Who else has a question about anything we've gone over thus far? Okay. Nobody has any questions so far. I'm going to go over a little bit of something with our pyramid again. So we have the 7s that we're aiming for. And for those of you that have been checking in with me the last 2 weeks, you notice I'm getting the pyramid out and I'm coloring it in with you. 7 hours of sleep, 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight, 70 ounces of water, 700 vegetables, 7,000 steps. If all 5 of these bottom layer blocks are not green and successfully accomplished, it is the first thing that needs to be addressed. If I'm getting 7 hours of sleep, 70 ounces of water, 700 grams of vegetables, and 7,000 steps, but I'm not getting my protein, then I should not worry at all about my training protocol, my cardio, fat level, how many carbs are in my meals, tracking my macros. That stuff might be beneficial, but it's absolutely not going to be the key log that we need to focus on that's going to make a big difference. It should be entirely focused down here. And one of the questions that somebody asked me today, and is a recurring theme / strategy that people are using, is they are choosing to build up the pyramid on things that they can do and are already doing well and skipping the bottom layers. For example, 7 hours of sleep, focusing on better quality sleep, going from 70 ounces to a gallon of water, going from 700 grams of vegetables to more fruits and vegetables, going from 7,000 steps to 11,000 steps per day, while their protein is still 100 grams per day. It is a mistake to try to go from 7 to 11 before your protein is put into place. Even though doing so might translate to additional weight loss on the scale, that weight loss or progress on the scale from this strategy would trigger a red flag. 2 reasons. 1, weight loss at too low of a protein number means that you're losing weight, but not losing as much fat as you think you should. If your protein number is too low, you're probably losing more lean mass than fat mass for a very long period of time. If you lose 20 pounds and you find out that 10 of that was your muscle mass, you'll be very disappointed. It'll have a negative impact on your health, on your metabolism, and aesthetically, you won't look like you lost the 20 pounds. You won't look like you think you would look if you lost it. 1, 2, longevity. It's probably not going to work for you for very long. You're going to get stuck in a bad spot, and you're going to have to come back, focus on the protein. Whereas this might be breaking you down. You don't have the ability to sustain and recover from it. The steps go from recreation and non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is what we love about it, to bordering on cardiovascular effort when you combine it with your efforts in the gym because your body doesn't have enough resources to recover. I don't know who I gave this visual to. It just popped back in my head and it helps. You are on this side of the cliff. You got this huge gap and you've got to get to the other side of the cliff. You have to build a bridge. You have a certain amount of resources to try to get across. If you don't have enough resources to get across, you can't. You'll build out and you'll fall. You'll have to come back up and you'll have to do it again. Your protein is your resources to get across that gap. So I don't care what you have with you on this side. If you're doing everything right, you're getting a ton of steps, a ton of vegetables, a ton of water, a ton of sleep, great training, extra cardio, tracking your target carbs and fats, whatever. If you don't have enough resources to get across that gap, you will never get across the gap. And the resource that you are looking for is almost always protein. And when I say you won't get across that gap, I mean a lot of things. 1, you might not see any progress. 2, you might hurt yourself. 3, you might see your energy drop. 4, you might see your performance drop. 5, you might start getting sick very, very frequently. 6, you might get burnt out mentally, physically because you're breaking down. Those are all examples as to why you'll never get across that gap. That gap is where you are, it's where you want to be. You won't make progress. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope that was a valuable lesson. We've got 3 minutes before this timer kicks us off. Who's got any last second questions they want to ask? Or anything else they want to go over? I'm going to take your silence as this was great. We hit everything that you were wondering about and hit all your questions.
It was great. Thank you, Michael.
You are very welcome, Lindsay. I hope it was beneficial. I hope we applied the things we did specifically with your meals that we looked at.
No, it was good. The protein. I'm trying.
Excellent. You're doing a great job. You are trying. You're doing a great job. Next week, we'll try to have some specific recipes, resources ready for Wednesday, or I'll send them out when I send out this video. I'll add it to Wodify. Continue to ask questions. Continue to do what you're doing. We'll do more of this stuff. I'm very proud of you guys. Everybody's been doing wonderful. Getting the pyramids out and visiting those have been very successful. Everybody's trending in the right direction. Those that aren't have a solution for it. It's been going great. So I will see everybody maybe tomorrow morning or evening or Friday morning. Keep doing what you're doing. Good night, everybody.